Alright, so there's two postcard examples you could use. By the way, also with that one, I couldn't take credit, 100% credit on that second postcard. A friend of mine showed me that idea, and that person actually learned it from someone as well. But the whole point is to S&D, which stands for swipe and deploy. That's kind of like why you have swipe files. If something works, you want to use it. There's nothing, pretty much nothing new. There is some new things, granted, this day and age, but nothing new really has been invented in a long time, especially in direct marketing advertising, because they work off the same basic principles of human nature, and human nature pretty much doesn't change, and if it does, it takes hundreds and maybe even thousands of years to change. So swipe and deploy, S&D things. If something works, use it. It doesn't have to be from your own business and things like that. So let's move on here to you need to differentiate yourself, which is you do that with a USP, unique selling proposition. And the reason you have to do that is there's so much noise out there that you really have to stand out and get noticed and capture business owners' attentions. You need to explain why someone should do business with you instead of someone else or not doing anything at all. And I don't want to get into the whole competition thing, the fact that if you're really good, there's no competition and all that. And it is true, but it still doesn't change the fact that there is a lot of noise out there, and there's a lot of distractions for business owners. They're always being bombarded with sales pitches and things like that. So you have to, even if you're the greatest quote-unquote marketing consultant in the world, you still got to get someone's attention to recognize that you're there, and you do that partly with a USP. Keep in mind, proof, even if what you're selling is a no-brainer, which hopefully it should be, you're basically selling money at a discount when it all comes down to it, people still won't believe you. So you need to gain their trust. You need to, if you can show them proof with testimonials, that's great. That's why we use testimonials for social proof. If you don't have them, that's fine. Don't use that as an excuse not to get started. That's really not a big deal. Worst case, if you really think it's a problem, go find a business that you can, I hate to say it, but go find a business that you can do a little work for free, and in return you get a testimonial. I don't know if I really think that's the greatest strategy, but again, if it's really that big of a hang up for you, go and do that. But you don't absolutely positively need testimonials. But just work on your USP. Take some time. It's not going to come to you in 10 minutes. It might take days. It might take weeks, believe it or not. But you really need to come up with a strong USP and get people's attention and really stand out and get people to take notice, basically. So let's move on. How to grow any business. And basically, there are only 3 ways to grow a business. And we're oversimplifying things here, kind of like identifying markets, getting leads, and then converting those leads. Just like that, there are only really 3 ways to grow a business. So let's see what they are. Number 1, increase the number of clients. 2 is increase average transaction size. And number 3, the third way, is increase the frequency of repurchase. So basically follow up and past customers, things like that. So let's dive a little deeper into the 3 ways here. Here's number 1, increase the number of clients. And I'm going to switch over to the old trusty mind map. So let's go look at ways to increase the number of clients. Alright, here we are in my mind map. Keep in mind we're working on number 1, which is increasing the number of clients. So basically we're talking about lead generation and advertising. So let's go into lead generation here. And keep in mind, I don't know if you remember earlier in the video, I said some of the things I'm going to show you, you can use in your own business as well as when you get clients. This is one of them. I'm going to show you ways to generate leads for yourself, but at the same time, you can use these to, when you have a client, to generate leads for them. So we're going into lead generation. Let me zoom out, Control-Alt-, so we can see a little better here. So I'm going to kind of skim through these. Here we see direct mail. Here's some examples. I already kind of briefly touched on these postcards. The sales letter, lumpy mail, which I'm actually going to I'll probably talk about a tiny bit more. Freestanding insert, telemarketing, which can work, but I'm not really a fan. Bad positioning, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work. Cold calling would actually fall into that. Let's see what else here. You can do YouTube videos and direct traffic back to your site. Print ads being newspapers, magazines, can write a press release, write a book, which is a great positioning tool. That'll really separate you from everyone else. Obviously takes time, but it is a great positioning tool. Um, television, radio, there's cold calling. It's bad positioning, personally I think, but it can work. There's actually John Durham, but check out his post. He's a huge fan of cold calling, and I guess if you want some more info, follow his post. I think he actually has a form for it. I forget the name of it, but just look for his posts. He talks a lot about cold calling. That's something you could do today and have clients today. So I'm not really a fan of it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work. That doesn't mean that you can't use it, because it does work. It's how big businesses get a lot of business, and it's just effective. It's just hard for people to do. So I think they use the excuse that it doesn't work, when in reality they just fear picking up the telephone and actually making it work. But anyway, there's Valpak. That would be probably good for clients. I don't know if I wouldn't do that to get marketing clients, but so here's some other things. Here's some advertising. Let's see what that is. This is just reminders, irresistible offer, clear call to action. I'm not going to get into all this stuff, but these are kind of just reminders when you're running the ad. Let's take a look at. I'm going to jump to another file here, and then on direct mail. Alright, here's a file that accompanied videos I did. It's probably close to a year maybe now. I did about 53 minutes worth of video on using direct mail to get attention, and this was basically the PDF version of the video. So everything was in the video was in here, and let's kind of just scroll through. I don't want to take too much time on this. If you do a search for those videos, you'll find it. Watch the videos, it'll dive a lot deeper into it. But just here's lumpy mail examples, because direct mail, I said it earlier, is one of my favorite ways to get clients, and I don't know, I just like doing direct mail. But so here's lumpy mail examples. You can see here all of these different examples. Let's go on some pictures. These are envelope examples. You can see here the do not bend. These are copy doodles, the for your eyes only here you see. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Mike Capuzzi sells them. Pretty good tool. So let's scroll a little. Again, I'm going to go pretty quickly here. Here's real life examples. These are actual things that either I have used or friends of mine have used or have gotten in the mail, things like that. So here you see a friend of mine sent me this. Accounts department. I don't know how well you can read this, but actually, let's help out. Accounts department. Here's a window. You can see it's a pink paper. That'll in a real stamp. That's important. Real stamp down here. And I just noticed my cursor wasn't showing, so I fixed that. But you see the real stamp here, real stamp there. Envelope, pink paper, handwritten address, no return address up here. These are all things that just get attention. Invitation style, that just means the size of the envelope smaller. Here's a green huge envelope with writing on it. Here's handwritten. This was a font. It's not really handwriting, but handwriting font. That's the back of the envelope. You can see there's handwriting all over it. Here's a blue envelope that'll stand out from all the white. Here's goldenrod paper. Here's green, blue. It's a picture there. Here's the inside of that. This was actually on the back of the picture here, which was this picture here. You can't really see. That's on purpose, but here's on the back of the picture, handwritten font, call to action. Here's a legal pad. This is something I sent to a friend of mine, and I used this back when I used to sell mortgages too. If you read it, it talks about your mortgage and your loan amount, things like that. Here's a tear sheet mailing. Here's a post-it note on the tear sheet. Tear sheet mailing, by the way, here's a good picture. This is pretty much fake. It makes it look like it was torn out of a newspaper, and depending where you get it, the edges might be ripped, but you basically put a post-it note on there and then handwrite on the post-it note saying, put the person's name, like, hey Bob, try this, it works. Like right here, let me zoom in. Try this, it works, I got 2 months no bills, and then sign J. If you've heard of it, you're probably laughing right now because everything's signed by J. But anyway, here's another tear sheet example. Here's that tear sheet, but printed on gold.